This week I'm going to be talking about something called SANTAPARNA chikitsa. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly. It's an anabolic therapy treatment in Ayurveda designed to build the tissues. Now, normally this sort of therapy is reserved for people with diseases that are like emaciating. Arthritis, degenerative arthritis, muscular dystrophy or disorders. But actually what they do is the therapy builds kapha and reduces vata and pitta dosha. So what you can do is you can include aspects of this type of treatment and therapy into your daily life, so that you can learn to keep vata and pitta lowered, basically, to stop them from becoming out of balance. So it is mainly for people of a vata pitta constitution that definitely have such a fast metabolism that their body degenerates quicker than it rebuilds itself. Okay, so these sort of treatments are reserved for those constitutions. If you are kapha, there are catabolic therapies that promote the body from more catabolic, metabolism increasing sort of therapy. But this week I'm going to focus on the vata one, the anabolic building one. It's really good for learning to gain a bit of weight, getting the body to gain some weight and build the tissues, nourish the rasa. Day by day I'm going to go through the tips that will help you and also are interesting in terms of learning how to build the body. So anabolic therapies are really important for a vata constitution because we inherently don't have the ability to look out and nourish the body because our interests are more active. These therapies are also used during pregnancy and during a postpartum period because of the reason of nourishing the tissues. So, the tip today is oil massage. In Ayurveda this is called ABHYANGA, and basically it involves using warm oil and massaging the body head to toe with this oil before taking a nice hot shower or a hot bath. So if you're a vata constitution, sesame oil or almond oil is a good choice. If you're a pitta constitution, coconut oil will be a good choice. And if you're a kapha constitution, obviously you can still do oil massage, and something like almond oil or sesame oil is also good for the kapha dosha. Why is oil massage really good for you? Well, oil massage basically keeps the doshas in their corrective sites. So rubbing the body promotes the dosha from where it's spread, perhaps from its seat within the digestive tract, and the dosha will leave this site when it becomes too much and circulate in the blood. And what the oil massage does is it brings it all back into the gastrointestinal tract to be eliminated. So it's really comforting for a vata person to do this. It alleviates the dry, rough quality of vata, which is what quality it has when it starts spreading outside of its site. So you can do this a couple of times a week, and it's absolutely lovely practice to do. Vasant Nag in his book calls it oiling yourself with love. So another tip to build the tissues is to have a high protein diet. Now, obviously, so many of us don't eat meat nowadays, so meat would be an option if you wanted to build protein, but you can also include a lot of lentils in your diet to help build the protein. And you can have nuts, but just be really careful because too many nuts will create a pitta imbalance. GHEE is the next tip that I have about building tissues in the body. So why is GHEE really good for you? Well, according to Ayurveda, it keeps the channels slippery almost, and this allows toxins to be easily removed and the energies to flow, doshas to flow appropriately. Obviously when you have too much of it, it can pose high cholesterol. And another issue that comes up always is that in this day and age, so many of us are turning vegan because of the animal industry. And I don't know if there is a substitute for GHEE in Ayurveda. I suppose we're yet to see. If you know any, please do let me know. but it's very highly placed in Ayurveda to include ghee in your diet, maximum of 3 teaspoons a day. Another great thing you can do when you're building the tissues is to include sweet foods in your diet. So you can add a little bit of sugar here and there. You can have rice that's sweet. You can have things like dates that are sweet. It doesn't mean that you can eat loads of chocolates and cakes. Yes, that's a sweet and it's nice, but do try to have the natural sugars as well. So the next tip is taking a nap. So did you know that when you sleep at night, you actually lose moisture, and when you sleep in the day, you gain moisture. So sleeping during the daytime promotes a very kapha quality. So if you're interested in this, you can start taking a nap in the afternoon if you can. The tip is to have cold showers. So for me, this is an absolute nightmare. I tried it the other day and it was actually really nice. So a cold shower actually reduces your metabolism down. So you can just basically, when you're having a shower, you can have it warm or hot, and then at the end just give yourself a burst of a cold shower, and this helps to slow down your metabolism. There are particular herbs in Ayurveda that help to build the tissues. The 2 famous ones are Shatavari and Ashwagandha. So be careful before you take these herbs. Make sure you consult a practitioner or an Ayurvedic doctor before you start taking them regularly, because there's lots of things to consider around taking them. But they both, Ashwagandha especially increases something called ojas, which is kapha related, which is your immunity. Shatavari reduces pitta and in turn increases kapha. Having a prolonged happy and cheerful mood will increase the tissues of your body. How does it do that? The key word here is prolonged. Okay, so a vata emotional state is like this. It's really up and down. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're worried, anxious, then you're okay again, then you're excited, and yeah, so it fluctuates, there's a lot of movement. So with the word prolonged here, this is what will stabilise you, okay? So remaining cheerful, content and happy for a prolonged time will allow you to rebuild your tissues, because obviously worry is very catabolic. So hugging someone with love actually helps to build the tissues. This is quite a simple one to do. Just, you know, when you see someone that you care about, just give them a hug, do it with love, and filling yourself with that feeling helps the tissues to regenerate and build. The next tip is contentment and absence of worries. So this is a tricky one for vatas to do, because inherently there is things like insecurity, anxiety and worry when they're out of balance. So there's a big journey in learning to be content with what you have and to not worry about the future, about the past. What do they think of me? Am I doing this correctly with my life? There's all these questions, and the absence of worry will allow you to basically rebuild and regenerate yourself and your tissues. So obviously I think this is more of a self-development and spiritual pursuit, but things like meditation and learning from books, talks, things like that, having a good friend to talk to just to make you see things clearly, to reduce your worry, can help you to do that. I hope you've enjoyed this series on how to build up the tissues with Ayurveda. It's really good for those that do feel like their body is a bit weak and a bit slim. There's a lot of focus on wanting to lose weight all the time, especially in media, having a slim body, everything's about weight loss. But they forget about the group of people that actually struggle to put on weight, and very easily people will, will be scared to say, oh, you've put on weight, but they have no problem in saying to someone, you look really thin. And people don't realise it actually hurts when it's said. And so for anyone that can relate to that, it's happened to me loads of times, it's happened to a lot of people that I know. Don't feel disheartened, and it is possible to build your body up, but the way you are is beautiful anyway. So don't let it bother you too much, and use the gifts that you do have which is being able to move freely, have lots of ideas, prance around and do loads of things. So yeah, just delve into those as well as looking after your body and love yourself more than anything.